Okay, for this project we are going to use cloning and copying and pasting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to download this picture and remove the dog from this picture and replace it with a duck. So I need to save this picture first. Right click, save image as. I'm going to save it on the desktop. And now that it's downloaded, I can open it up in GIMP, File, Open, and find Buck2 on the desktop. Open it up. If it asks you, do you want to convert to RGB working space, you could click Keep. Convert would be okay too. Now I'm just going to use the clone tool to erase the dog. First I need to hold the control button and select where I want to clone from, and then I can click and drag on top of the dog. I want to make sure I'm selecting areas to clone from that are similar to where I'm cloning to. I don't want it to be super obvious. If I'm cloning from up here down into this dark area, that's really obvious. I want to undo that. If I'm cloning this area down here, if I want to get rid of the shadow, I would use this water that's down here next to the shadow to try and get rid of that. So I want to completely erase the dog, and I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. We've used the clone tool for a couple of projects already, so this should not be new to anyone. Once the dog is erased the best you can do it, it doesn't have to be completely perfect, but it should be. You want to try your best, you want to do the best you can. Get rid of this shadow down here as well if you can do that. So now I've got it looking okay. I would try and do better than this. But the next thing I'm going to do is go to the internet, open a new tab, and I'm going to search for a duck in Google. If I click on images, all the pictures of ducks will come up. I need to find one that looks good. This one looks pretty good. Actually, I like this one even better. So I like this picture. I'm going to download it from this page, right click, save image as, and I'm going to save it on the desktop, Philippine duck. That's fine. Save. Go back to GIMP, and I'm going to go to File, Open to get this open and find Philippine duck and open it up. It might not open on the top, so I can go to Windows, Philippine duck, and here it is. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select just this duck, and I've got three different options. Rectangular select just makes rectangles. Ellipse select makes circular and stretched out circle shapes. And the free select tool, this is where I can click and drag around the outside of a shape. Oops, I missed a little bit there. But I can click and drag around the outside of a shape and try and get an irregular shape selected. So now I've got the whole duck selected. I missed a little bit down here. I'm going to hold in on the shift button and select a little bit more to make sure that I've got everything selected. Now I'm just going to copy this picture, copy just the duck part of this picture. So I'm going to click on Edit, then go down to Copy. And now if I click back on the window of the duck, or of the dog, if I couldn't find that window, I would go to Windows and find Buck2 in here. Now I'm going to go to Edit and Paste. And it pasted that duck in, and the duck was really big. So if your duck is too big or too small, we're going to click on this Scale tool. It looks like a little square with an arrow pointing at a bigger square. I'm going to click on this Scale tool and click on the duck. And I want to make sure that this link is connected. Right now it's half of a link and half of a link. If I click on it, those two links go together, and it means that the width is going to be linked to the height. So it's not going to be really fat or really skinny. It's going to change proportionally. So I'm just going to click and drag it smaller. And this was a lot bigger. So I'm going to click on scale, make it to this size, click on the move tool that looks like a cross, move it back into the screen, and it's still too big. So I need to scale it down again. Click on the screen, click and drag it smaller. That's a pretty good size right there. I'm going to move it back onto the screen, and I'm trying to cover up any bad spots that didn't get cloned away completely from the dog. So your background hopefully is cloned a little bit better than this. I've got some shadow left over on the bottom, but everything else is covered up. So it didn't have to be completely perfect when we were cloning. Once it's in the spot that we want, we've moved it to the right spot, and we've scaled it to the right size. Now we want to anchor it in place, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to click on one of these selection tools, and if you click outside of the duck, it's going to deselect the duck so that this running ants isn't going to be moving around the outside anymore, and it's going to stick it in place so that it can't move. If I zoom in on this duck a little bit here, I can see that I accidentally copied a little bit too much from that picture. So I can clean it up. I can clean up the edge, try and make sure everything is nice with the clone tool. And if I zoomed in and want to zoom out, the best way to do that is to click View, Zoom, Fit Image in Window. Once you have everything exactly the way you want it, you're going to go to File, Export As, save it right onto the desktop, click Export. If it asks you if you want to replace, yes, you want to replace, and then hit Export one more time. Now you just need to put this in your GIMP document in SPPS Apps.